ready to dive in because today we're going to take a deep dive into Jaws.
Jaws, the one that made everyone terrified of the water.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But, and here's the thing, there's so much more to this movie than just being a scary shark story.
absolutely. Jaws is a masterclass in filmmaking. It's got it all: suspense, character development, that incredible score.
Right, it's iconic. But to really understand its impact, we need to rewind a bit, back to a time before summer blockbusters were even a thing.
Before Jaws, summer was when studios dumped all their flops, their B movies. No one expected a summer release to be a hit.
It's true. And then Jaws comes along and changes everything. It single-handedly invents the summer blockbuster.
Totally. Studios saw how much money Jaws was making and thought, wait a minute, people actually want to go to the movies in the summer.
Yeah, they were like, give us more of that shark action.
Well, not sharks specifically, but you get the idea. Big, exciting movies, perfect for those summer months.
And those box office numbers were insane. Over $470 million worldwide. Back in 1975, that was unheard of.
And if you adjust for inflation, we're talking well over $1 billion today. Jaws was a monster hit.
A total game changer. And it wasn't just the movie itself. Their marketing strategy was brilliant. They went all in on TV commercials, which was pretty much unheard of for a film back then.
It was a huge gamble, too. They poured $700,000 into the marketing campaign, but it paid off big time.
Yeah, they created this sense of event, this must-see spectacle. I mean, those teeth, just the image of those teeth in the commercials was enough to give you chills.
Pure marketing genius. But speaking of things that didn't always go to plan, let's talk about Bruce.
Bruce the shark. That mechanical monster was more trouble than he was worth.
Oh, Bruce. Let's just say he was a little temperamental.
A little. I heard he was a complete diva, constantly breaking down, holding up production.
It's true. The saltwater played havoc with his mechanics. Spielberg had envisioned using him in way more scenes, but...
But Mother Nature had other plans.
Exactly. And, sometimes those unexpected challenges, they can actually lead to brilliant solutions.
Okay, so how do you make a movie about a giant shark when your giant shark is constantly out of commission?
Well, you improvise. Spielberg was forced to get creative. Instead of showing Bruce all the time, he relied on suggestion, on building suspense.
That's so interesting because you'd think a movie about a shark would want to, show the shark as much as possible.
Right, you'd think so. But Spielberg understood that what you don't see can be far more terrifying than anything you do see.
It's true. The anticipation, the waiting, it's almost unbearable. And then there's the music, that iconic score. Dun, 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 dun. Still sends shivers down my spine.
John Williams, what a legend. Those two notes are more effective than 100 shark attacks.
Totally. Spielberg himself called that score the shark for the first half of the movie.
Exactly. It became the sonic embodiment of the unseen terror. Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. And speaking of brilliant, can we talk about Spielberg for a second? The guy was only 26 when he directed this. 26. I was barely able to keep my goldfish alive at 26, let alone wrangle a massive film production.
I know, right? And he wasn't even their first choice for a director.
Seriously. Who else were they considering?
Well, they had a director named Dick Richards attached to the project early on. And get this, he envisioned the shark as a whale.
A whale. I mean, I love whales, but that's a very different movie.
Right. Thank goodness Spielberg came in with his vision, although he definitely inherited a challenging production. Delays, budget overruns, not to mention that whole mechanical shark fiasco.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
Filming on the open ocean, battling the elements, dealing with the demanding studio. It's amazing he managed to hold it all together.
It really is. And the ocean wasn't exactly a cooperative co-star. They had all sorts of issues filming on location.
Yeah, I bet. I'd imagine filming with mechanical shark is tricky enough, even without rogue waves and saltwater wreaking havoc.
It was constant chaos. The crew even nicknamed the production Flaws.
Flaws. Love it. But through it all, Spielberg persevered.
He did, and he ended up creating a cinematic masterpiece. Although he was convinced it was going to be a total flop. So convinced, in fact, that he didn't even show up for the last day of filming.
You're kidding.
Oh.
He skipped out on the final day. Talk about irony. He thought he was dodging a disaster, and instead, he'd created a cultural phenomenon. But okay, let's move beyond the production drama because almost 50 years later, people are still talking about Jaws.
Yeah.
I know. It's a testament to the film's power, how it's endured for all these years. Why do you think that is? What makes Jaws so special?
Well, for starters, it's just a masterclass in suspense. Spielberg really understood how to build tension, how to use those quiet, unsettling moments to make the scary parts even scarier.
Right. It's not just about the shark attacks themselves. It's about the anticipation, the dread.
Exactly. He plays with our expectations, keeps us on the edge of our seats, wondering when and where that fin is going to break the surface.
And don't forget about that score. John Williams' music is like another character in the film, heightening every moment of suspense, every jump scare.
Absolutely. Those iconic two notes, dun dun, dun 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 dun. They're burned into our collective cinematic memory.
For sure. But it's not just about the scares. Jaws also works because we actually care about the characters.
Yes. Brody, Hooper, Quint, they're more than just shark bait. They're fully realized characters with their own motivations, their own flaws. We connect with them, which makes their ordeal even more terrifying.
Totally. Especially Chief Brody. He's just a regular guy trying to protect his community from this extraordinary threat.
Exactly. And he's terrified of the water. That just makes him even more relatable, you know? He's facing his fears head on.
Speaking of fear, Jaws had a pretty profound impact on our relationship with the ocean.
Absolutely. I mean, it practically invented the whole fear of sharks thing. Before Jaws, sharks weren't really seen as these terrifying monsters.
It's true. Jaws tapped into this primal fear of the unknown depths, the creatures lurking beneath the surface.
Right. Suddenly, everyone was looking twice before dipping a toe in the ocean. Beach attendance plummeted the summer it came out.
People were convinced there was a great white lurking off every coastline. And who could blame them?
And it wasn't just the visuals, that score. You'd be at the beach just trying to enjoy the waves, and you'd hear those dun-duns in your head.
You're right. Spielberg really knew how to get under our skin. But even beyond the fear factor, Jaws gave us some truly unforgettable cinematic moments.
So many. Like Quint's USS Indianapolis speech. Chilling.
Oh, man. Robert Shaw, he just killed that scene. The way he delivers that story, you can practically feel the terror of those sailors.
Pure cinematic brilliance. And to think, some of that intensity came from the fact that Shaw and Dreyfuss, who played Hooper, didn't really get along off-set.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, they apparently had a pretty contentious relationship, but Spielberg has said that their real-life tension actually added to the dynamic on screen.
Wow. It's amazing how those things can happen. But that's the thing about Jaws. Everything just came together perfectly. The story, the characters, the score, the direction. It's a masterclass in filmmaking.
Totally agree. It's a film that continues to resonate with audiences because it's just that good.
Yeah.
And you know what else is fascinating? Jaws essentially invented the modern high-concept film.
What do you mean?
Think about it. The premise of Jaws can be summed up in a single sentence. A giant shark terrorizes a small town. It's simple, it's gripping, it immediately grabs your attention.
That's true. You know what you're getting into from the get-go.
All right, and that's what makes it so brilliant. Jaws proved that a simple, high-stakes premise, well executed, can captivate audiences on a massive scale. And after its success, Hollywood was off to the races.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly, every studio wanted their own Jaws.
Yeah.
You got piranha, alligator, even the swarm killer bees.
All hoping to capture that same magic, but none of them quite reached the same level as Jaws.
It's true. Jaws was lightning in a bottle, a perfect storm of talent, timing, and yes, even a few mechanical shark malfunctions. But it's a film that continues to inspire, to terrify, and to entertain, even all these years later.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there you have it, folks. Another deep dive complete. Until next time, happy watching.